Hi everyone, I'm Connie with Mobile Paw Spa, and this is Blue. And today we're talking about retractable leashes. A while back there was a clip floating around about the proper usage of a retractable leash. In other words, don't. And I agree, retractable leashes can be very dangerous. There are some situations where they can be beneficial, and we'll talk about those in a couple of minutes. But retractable leashes can cause burns, cuts, entanglements, and even strangulation. And these are very real issues. Some cities and state parks actually have it illegal for you to use retractable leashes or any leashes over 6 feet in length. And a lot of vet clinics and grooming salons strongly discourage retractable leashes because of the limited spaces. It's very easy for dogs to get tangled with each other and with humans. And when dogs get in situations like this, they can become fearful and even aggressive. So that makes it very dangerous for the dogs and for the people that are trying to untangle them or separate them. And I've been in circumstances like that. These cords are very, very sharp, and they can really burn and hurt the legs. Fortunately, I was never injured, but it is painful. Cords can also trip people. You might be in a park and think you have all kinds of room, not paying attention, maybe on your phone, and you don't notice, but somebody comes walking by or maybe on a bike and they don't see it, and they can trip and they can become seriously injured. And when situations like that happen, then the first thing we do is, of course, we want to reel in the dogs. So we start trying to unlock or lock, and oftentimes these buttons don't work. So then what do? We start reeling it in by the cord, and that's when you can get your hands burned or cut very easily. Another thing that can happen is your dog can see something and suddenly they take off, and then you've got that sudden pull that you weren't expecting. So many retractable leashes have very little handles. Now this one isn't bad. I can get my whole hand around it, but sometimes you can only hold them with a couple of fingers. Very easy to pull it right out of your hand. And if there's an oncoming car, well, we know that is not going to turn out well. So when is it appropriate to use them? Well, if you are in a wide open space, it is a great way for your dog to have a little more freedom to roam and to explore. But if they do come upon something that's dangerous, it's much easier to, reel them back in if you have them on a leash versus just having them run off leash. The only time I use one is in my backyard with my cat, who is in a harness, and he loves being able to kind of roam around without having me, following him everywhere he goes. It can also be a useful training tool sometimes when teaching the command come. A retractable leash or even just a long lead can be a real useful tool. It's so important to remember that if you are going to use a retractable leash, make sure your dog is well trained. And the very most important thing, if you're going to use a retractable leash, is to pay attention. And that is for your safety and for the safety of your dog. So Blue and I want to thank you so much for watching today. We always invite your comments and your suggestions, and we invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel.